If you've ever wondered how you can film car cinematography in and outside the car without breaking your bank, I already broke my bank so that I could answer that question for you. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So the weather outside is starting to change. The leaves have all changed colors. It's getting colder outside. Yesterday was nice and sunny with perfect blue skies and streaks of little white clouds all over the place. And I'm like, holy crap, I need to hurry up and get out there and get a video on the road before the weather completely changes and everything just starts getting rained out. And I've got some camera gear that I actually need to test, and it's all car related camera gear. So I picked up a couple of DJI Action 5 Pros, bought a pair of them, bought some SmallRig cages for them, and then I've got these Tilta Hydra electronic suction cups that I use to mounting them on the car. And the beautiful thing about those action cameras is that these DJI's little wireless microphones will just pair up to them, so you can get good quality audio from those. So like on the channel here, I've been using these little micro mics. I don't even know the name of them. But these little tiny joints, I hate it when there's heavy-handed branding or ad copy on my products. So I had to gaff tape that up. It'll just pair up to not just one, but two of them. So what that means as far as just in-car stuff, these cameras are stupid cheap. They connect to wireless audio. So I can mic myself so that I can talk while I'm driving, but then I can put a second mic somewhere around the car to pick up the car noise. And then I've got two channels of audio that I can mix between in post. It's rad. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm also gonna bring the other Komodo. I did a quick little lightweight build. That's gonna go out with us. I'm probably gonna put the camera on a tripod, maybe find a nice little spot and just get some beauty shots. Enough of me talking. Let's get the car loaded up and we're gonna head out. Tripod. Boom, boom. Still not sure where I want my mic placement though in the car. I'm still kind of messing around with that because there's a couple things going on. Like, you want to be in an area where there's not a lot of wind blowing on it, but you also want to be near kind of the sound of the engine, but kind of near the sound of the exhaust. And you don't want there to be too much vibration of the chassis going in, because that will get picked up as sound, and that's not really a sound that you want. So still playing around with that. I think inside the trunk is going to be the best bet, just enough for a muffle, because you don't want I personally don't like the sound of a raspy exhaust anyway. I like a deep rumble. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to use this mic because this records internally and it records in 32-bit float. So in case the sound gets too loud, this should be able to capture it, and then I can pull the audio off of here and sync it in post. And then I'm going to be using another one of these, like I am here, for catching my dialogue. Less talk, more car. Let's go. So this whole thing, having to have that thing sideways because the mount is at the bottom. Not a fan of that. Having this have to come out the side and have to be connected to power. It's pretty frustrating. Like, that thing should have a quarter 20 on the bottom, should have a quarter 20 on the top, and it should just have its own small little battery. Them's my thoughts on that. But overall, I feel like these cameras are an absolute must for this kind of shooting, just because of how simple it is. I'm a big fan of just getting the tools out of the way. I mean, that's what the notion of a good tool is. One that you don't have to spend a bunch of time doing work on, so that you can spend more time doing work with it. And that's kind of what I'm able to get from this setup. These wireless microphones, stupid easy to use. They connect to these cameras, which are also stupid easy to use, which are easily put anywhere on the vehicle using these suction cups, which are also stupid easy to use. This thing, while I have my gripes with it, it's also stupid easy to use, and it's giving me very valuable information. Right now, I know exactly what the suction is of each one of my suction cups, and I know what the battery life is of it. It's very easy for me to track what is going on with these suction cups, really, so that instead of having to look around and look at the screens on each or put them where I can see them, I just can look right there. And I'm not sure that if I caught it on camera before or not, but it did start beeping at me for some reason, which is good. I mean, it's kind of good. Kind of good, kind of bad, because I don't know exactly why it was beeping. All right, we're gonna set up a camera right here. This junk right here, all right here. So current technology is just a beautiful thing. As much as China is not fashionable in the United States right now, I'm currently just reaping the benefits of the amazing work that has been happening over there as far as manufacturing and technology goes. Their cameras and just equipment in general. Tilta, for those who might not know, for the car nerds in the group, is a company that started out making cheap stuff. They were kind of quintessentially the cheap Chinese crap kind of company. That really isn't the case anymore. Even DJI. I remember DJI just selling flame wheel kits. For those that don't know, flame wheel was basically a DIY drone building kit, and DJI sold a bunch of components and then you could assemble them. They were simply hobby grade, and then they started making pre-assembled drones. The Phantom was born out of the flame wheel. And now DJI they acquired Hasselblad quite a while ago, and they make their own cameras, and they make a whole bunch of just amazing stuff. Their drones are just crazy good when you can get them here in the US, thanks to those tariffs. So, and another company who's kind of fresh out of the noob pool is SmallRig. So SmallRig, what happened? SmallRig, what's going on here, dog? My follow focus is wilding out. So SmallRig, come on, man. SmallRig, okay. So SmallRig started out making just really the clunkiest and most obtuse little camera chunk kind of pieces. This isn't made by SmallRig, but this is kind of emblematic of the kind of things that they used to make. They would just make like chunks and lugs, random, like the cheapest of the bits and bobs of the camera world. And then they started just their manufacturing facilities got better and better. And now this cage here on this Osmo Action 5 Pro is a very precise piece of equipment. It's very well made. The finish on it is great. The tolerances on it are excellent. And that's kind of the case for everything that you see here. So from the Tilta parts to the SmallRig parts to the DJI parts, all these Chinese companies started out making cheap Chinese junk. And now none of them do. It's just impressive. It's impressive. It's impressive where we're at now. The quality let's not even talk about, the quality's good. Quality's good enough compared to most other camera bits out there. I don't really even need to sell you on the quality. But if you are an auto vlogging YouTuber doing anything within the car world, you probably already know that you already know about these companies. But I just want to plug this particular kit because these cameras, the Action 5 Pros, for one, just make beautiful pictures. These joints, I love these little cameras already. I've had many GoPros. I've had almost every model of GoPro aside from the first one. I think GoPro Hero 2 was my first GoPro, and my last GoPro was a GoPro Hero 12 Black. I've had a lot of experience and a lot of frustration. Honestly, I kept buying GoPros hoping that they would finally be good. And every single time up until the 12 was pretty much disappointing. The only GoPro that I really loved was actually the 10 Bones, because for one, it was GoPro actually paying attention to what people do with their cameras. And they gave us one that we could use in FPV. I was able to piggyback it on the back of a DJI FPV drone. And the image quality compared to the DJI camera that came on there was lovely. I loved it. It was great. Other than that, GoPros have been frustrating in their battery life, and they've been frustrating in their user interface, and been frustrating in the fact that they are always 2 steps behind what people are doing with their camera and what their competition is doing. Well, DJI, I think, now has run a circle around them, and I've finally stopped being I've stopped gaslighting. I've stopped. What have I stopped doing? I've stopped being abused. I've realized that I've been a victim to GoPro and their promises, and so I broke up with GoPro. Me and GoPro are no longer, and I'm giving my whole life to DJI. I tried to leave DJI with the drones because Sony, and that didn't work out because Sony can't even catch up with DJI. But now that DJI is in the action camera market, they're coming for blood. These things have been great. They are super easy to use. Oh man, I kind of already had too much in there. Well, I can intercut between the two. I haven't changed the scene. So they're easy to use, right? For instance, these SmallRig cages for them are just lovely. So if I need to change a battery, that's it. This whole thing's rigged up. I didn't have to twist a little knob off to get it out of the way so that the battery door could open. Nope, just open the door. Just open the door. It's still on there. It's still rigged. But the added little bonus is, I just pulled the battery out and put it back in, turned it on, and I'm ready to shoot. That's it. It goes right back to the screen for shooting. If that was a GoPro and I would have pulled the battery out, what would have happened is it would have taken a long time to boot back up, for one. 2, as soon as it would have booted up, it would have prompted me to connect to the app so that it could reset the date and time. And then if I don't connect, then I'd have to manually put that on just so that I could start shooting. It's an action cam. It's an action cam, which means if I'm using that camera, I'm trying to catch some action. I don't want a bunch of steps in front of me and hitting record. Slow to boot up camera, have to put in a bunch of settings and crap before it let me go. The Action 5 Pro just turns on, little flash of DJI, and it's ready to roll. So, I mean, that in itself was huge. I have so many folders on my computer with a bunch of random dates because it puts your footage in folders by date, and just a bunch of random dates on my computer because I was in a hurry and I just needed to get shooting, and so I just scrolled and hit OK. I'm not going to miss those days. I'm not going to miss having those folders on my computer. The image quality of this is better. The newest GoPro advertises itself as being 10-bit, and so does this. This does a lot better with noise. The D-Log is superior to whatever that flat profile is that GoPro has. The lensing distortion, I just like the look up better here, and just it's you can shoot 4:3, so open gate, which that's huge as far as being able to choose between vertical or horizontal in post. And anyway, there's a lot of reasons. I don't want to go through the whole list. So today was spent using these, driving around in the car, and also using the Tilta Hydra electronic suction cups. These things are amazing. They have their own battery, they have their own suction motor, and they maintain the amount of pressure to make sure that these stay stuck. And I got it rigged up in the car. I'm not going to take it out. I'll cut to some B-roll. It has a wireless monitor so that I can look and see exactly what the pressure is of all my suction cups. And if the suction dips, an alarm goes off to let you know. It's kind of bananas. It's bananas that there's just that amount of tech and such cheap form factors. These are like, what, $100? You know, this cage was like $30. And then what, these mics are like $100? And then the wireless monitor is like $30 or something cheap. It's wild. It's wild that we can do these things that we can do for this small amount of money. Super stoked. The Super Night mode on the Action 5 Pro. I had not used that yet, so I figured I'd give that a go. Threw the suction cups back on the car, went back out, drove through downtown Portland, managed to dodge a bunch of bombshells and tanks, and made it back home. So let's take a look at that footage. I've not yet seen it, so we're going to see it for the first time together. But I do want to talk about the experience of driving around. It's nice because at night, it's not like I can look over and just look at the small screen on the suction cup. So having the monitor was hugely helpful. There were 2 different times in which I got false alarms, which scared the crap out of me. That's the 3rd time that's happened. I love that there is the monitor, but I do have some issues with it. For one, those false alarms. I'm driving around downtown and I just need to quickly pull over and double check, and then I find the alarm just goes away. That was a bit frustrating. But also, whoever designed the physical exterior of that monitor, they clearly just didn't think as to where it was going to be mounted. I would think that it's obvious that most people are going to use it inside of a vehicle. And if they're going to put it inside of a vehicle, and if they're going to need the quarter 20 on the monitor, they're going to need that facing the surface in which they are going to be connecting it to, which in a car is going to be, well, for the interior of a car is going to be any smooth surface you can put a suction cup on, which is the windscreen or the windshields or the sunroof. But they put the 1/4 mounting screw on the bottom. So anything that you rig is going to have to loop around to the bottom of it, and then it has to be powered by USB-C. It doesn't have its own battery. So it's got to stay plugged in. So you got this USB-C cord. For some reason, also, every single USB-C cord that I own is like 2 feet long. So that's got to be plugged into the cigarette lighter, which in this car, like I've swapped out so that I actually have a USB outlet. But of course, that's all down below. Like it's going to be down on the dash where a cigarette lighter is going to be, or on whatever car, it's going to be down below. But they put the USB-C slot on the side. So you got the USB-C on the side. I know I'm being nitpicky, but I mean, these are my initial experiences. The only problems that I had with all this stuff throughout the day was dealing with the rigging debacle. Totally, now I have a contribution for shitty rigs on how I rigged up that so that I could mount it inside the car. That was my least favorite part of the entire kit. Functionality, top notch. I do wish that instead of just blinking between the different suction cups, that I could actually select between the different suction cups. Maybe that's included in the tiny ass book that is too small for me to read. I guess I'll have to look it up online and look for a PDF and see if I can, oh, it's got pictures in Chinese. Oh, other side. In English. Okay, so I've got some reading to do. Little book, you have some explaining to do. So that is it. I'm super stoked to be using these things and that we might bust out the big brother. So this is the full meal deal, the Tilta Hydra car mount kit. So you have 3 suction cups with NATO rails and then just these gargantuan arms. And there's like RE locator, 1/4-20s all over the place, even on the head. So it's got a nice head with a Manfrotto style dovetail, NATO rails all the way around this hexagonal piece here with more 1/4-20s all over the place so that you can rig stuff on it. Large weight capacity, I think it's something like 60 pounds. So I can easily put my red Komodo on here. So I've got this little guy for play, and then I've got this big joint for when I need to get serious and put a Komodo on here. So a little sneak peek at this. This video will actually come out when I actually get some time to throw the Komodo on a car. I keep mulling over ideas that involve kind of decommissioning the car for a minute, like what happens if I pull the engine out, you know, like upgrade the timing chain guide to the Party Racing just lifetime replacement timing chain guide. That thing just seems nuts. I definitely want that in this motor if I'm gonna keep this motor. And I think the steps that I'm gonna go through is probably gonna be, I gotta replace those valve covers. Those magnesium valve covers just look like ass. And there's not really anything that you can do about it. You can try to refinish them, but they pit super easy. And then any kind of finish that you put on them, it's going to just fall off in pretty short order. So to get a set of aluminum ones that will hold up a lot better, and you can actually put a finish on them and have the finish hold. And while I'm in there, once that's off, I'm gonna have my first peek at the timing chain and the upper cam chains and tensioners. And that should give me a sense of what is going on. Honestly, like I might be able to make the call as to whether I'm going to do the timing chain right then or whether I don't want to, and I am going to start making plans for an engine replacement. I've been mulling over a couple different ideas. I think it's just going to be a matter of like timing and money will blow me in whichever direction. Maybe doing a stroker motor, so finding an M60 and taking the heads off of the M60 and putting it on M62 bottom end. What does that make it? It makes it a M60B44, something like that. The Franken motor, that I think could be a good option, and just to keep it simple and also do a 6-speed swap. So I think that engine setup would be maybe the least inexpensive And then there is the potential of getting a 4.6 liter out of like a E53 4.6 IS. Take that motor, swap it in, have a little more displacement. And then, which I'm actually not that familiar with that engine, so I'd have to do a bit more homework there. And then, of course, the other option is my favorite, and that is to put an S62 in here. The S62, just straight out of the box. I would definitely want to rebuild the S62 before it goes in to make sure that everything is 100%. But that's it. That's it, and that's all. A whole lot of talking. A lot of time for doing. I think the next things that you're gonna see me do, aside from putting together my written stories, is some of the projects that I have laying around here that I have procrastinated on. I need to recover the speaker covers with that same material. I've got my C-pillars just chilling over here. I got to finish stripping those off and then put that same material on there as well. And then really just button up this rear end, because right now I'm driving around with it like this, but the rear speaker is just sitting up there. It's not actually screwed in. And the same with the back seat. It's just sitting there because that's the best place for me to store it. So to fully reassemble all that from the suspension and speaker upgrade, get that wrapped up. Yeah, I think that's it. Keep bumping in my follow focus. It's wild, son. Let's fix that. I can't not. So I've got this little nugget here, which is my little focus knob. And then I have this little mount that I just screwed into the side of my workbench here so that I can stand on my point, which is taped off on the ground down there, and to be able to change focus while I stand on my point and look at the monitor like that. But the problem is I kept putting it too close to my legs and just my movements, then I would like bump it. No secrets on this channel. There we go. My follows focus. The only thing I'm diddling down here is my focus. Dumb. Whatever.